Hello everybody, how are you? You guys are heading back from North Hills, Ross Township area, going south, and thinking about crossing the Fort Pitt Bridge, and thought we'd take the opportunity to talk a little bit about the history of it. It's pretty fascinating. If you ever visit Pittsburgh, you'll be amazed how many bridges there are. Every town has bridges. In Pittsburgh, the bridges have bridges. So we'll see if we can cross the Fort Pitt and talk about it. The weather's been pretty nice because it's not too humid, and the cloud cover actually cools it off a little bit. The sign right there to the right says "Welcome to Deutschtown, a National Historic District." We'll explore that. We're gonna be in Pittsburgh for a few days, so I'll come back to that and we'll explore it a little bit, find out more about the history of Deutschtown and what's going on there. I'm not 100% sure, but if we come up on the Fort Pitt Bridge here, I'll talk a little bit about it. Now, you might think that Fort Pitt, the word Pitt, is short for Pittsburgh, but in this case it's not. It was named after Stan Pitt, who came up with the idea for the fort. And the fort wasn't originally designed for protection. The fort was designed, Stan Pitt said they needed a place to store their hockey equipment, right? So they were playing hockey out here because, remember, this is before Instagram, before the internet. They didn't have anything to do except for play hockey and go hunting and trapping. Well, I mean, after a while, you collect a bunch of sticks. They whittled the sticks out of nearby trees, and you know, anybody that plays hockey knows that over the years you accumulate 400 or 500 pairs of hockey sticks, 400 or 500 hockey sticks and pairs of skates. So, Fort Pitt was originally a storage area for hockey equipment. In fact, to this day, people say they still unearth pucks in the dirt where the original storeroom was. So now, fun fact number 2 of 3 fun facts we'll talk about this bridge is here we go underneath. This is kind of nice because in the rain you don't get wet underneath there. Now this is, you would think it would be one of the original bridges given its historical significance, but there's 800 bridges in the Pittsburgh area, 800 or 900, they're not sure because it keeps changing. But this is number 476, so it's kind of interesting that it's such a later addition, given its ties to the original fort that created the city of Pittsburgh ultimately. And finally, just got to be careful here. Look at this. Look at all these cars, man. And it's such an important bridge to the area, which means we got to get over. You got to get over. Now, this is where my Los Angeles driving comes in handy. The final fun fact of the Fort Pitt Bridge is that it was originally going to be a drawbridge, and they in fact made it was a drawbridge until one time they left the bridge was not completely down one day, and back in the horse and wagon days a young buck decided to chase the drawbridge on a horse and buggy. He thought he could get the horse and the buggy across, but of course the gap was still there in the bridge, and the horse thankfully made it across. and the ropes on his bridle snapped, and he was able to slide down the icy surface to safety. But the young man didn't make it. The horse and buggy did not make it across, and he plunged to his death in the icy waters below. This is way back in the beginning days of the bridge when it was a drawbridge, and so the city decided it's way too dangerous, and we're just going to make it into a regular bridge. So it took him a couple more years to cement over the gap and make it into a regular bridge. But if you get underneath it on a boat today, you can still see the original line where the bridge actually separated in the middle. Pretty amazing stuff. I hope you enjoyed that. Come back, because we're going to be talking about Pittsburgh in a bunch more videos.